Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to take a deep breath with me. Feel the stillness within you. Now, think for a moment. Have you ever found yourself in a season of life where you felt completely alone? Maybe you've been misunderstood. Maybe the world around you seemed to have moved on without you. And yet, deep down, you sensed that something was happening, something bigger than you could see with your physical eyes. You felt the pull, the stirring in your soul. It's like you're being pulled inward, isolated from everything you once knew. And in that moment of solitude, you wonder, what's going on? Why does it feel like the universe, or perhaps God, is shutting doors, creating distance? Now, I want to offer you a new perspective today. You see, the isolation you're feeling isn't punishment, it's elevation. Let that sink in. It's not that you've been forgotten, cast aside, or left behind. It's not that God is angry with you or is trying to make you suffer. No, my friend, you're being set apart because you're being prepared for something greater than you can possibly imagine. Something greater than your current environment could ever contain. There's a truth we must all come to understand. True growth, real transformation, doesn't happen in the comfort zone. It doesn't happen when you're surrounded by distractions, noise, and constant external validation. True growth happens when you're forced to turn inward, when everything external is stripped away and all you have left is yourself, your thoughts, your soul, your essence. That's when you get to the real work. When God isolates you, He's not punishing you. He's pulling you into a space of clarity, of introspection, of deep connection with your true self. And that's when the elevation begins. Think about it, just like a seed needs to be planted in the soil and covered in darkness before it can break through to the light. You too are being prepared for a breakthrough. It might feel uncomfortable. It might feel lonely, but understand this, growth and elevation require you to step into new levels of awareness, new levels of being, and this process can be messy. It can feel like you're being broken down, but it's in that brokenness that your greatest strength emerges. It's in that solitude that your soul finds its deepest voice. When you are isolated, it's because your destiny is so much bigger than where you are right now. You've outgrown your current environment, your current circumstances. The patterns of your past can no longer serve you in the way they once did. The world around you, those relationships, the habits, the beliefs, are not in alignment with who you're becoming. So, God takes you out of that situation, not to punish you, but to create the space for your transformation. But here's the thing, you can't elevate to new heights if you don't change your mindset. You can't elevate if you stay attached to the old version of yourself. If you keep thinking in the same old patterns, the same old ways, then you'll miss the opportunity for expansion. Isolation isn't about abandonment, it's about preparation. It's about stripping away the layers that no longer serve you, so you can step into a version of yourself that is unrecognizable to the world, but fully in alignment with your divine purpose. In that purpose, it's going to change lives. It's going to impact the world in a way you've never imagined. But in order to access that, you must evolve, and evolution sometimes requires solitude. You're being elevated. And here's the beautiful part. As you grow, as you heal, as you step into your highest potential, the world around you will begin to reflect that change. Your relationships will shift. Opportunities will unfold. You will no longer chase what once eluded you. You'll attract what is meant for you, what is in alignment with the person you are becoming, not the person you were. So if you're in that place of isolation, if you feel like the world is pulling back from you, take heart. Know this is your moment of transformation. Know that you are being elevated, and when you come out of this season, you'll walk with a deeper wisdom, a clearer purpose, and a power you never knew you had. Embrace it, trust the process. You're not being abandoned, you're being elevated. Isolation is not punishment, it's preparation. In life, we often view isolation as a form of abandonment, a sign that we've done something wrong, or that we're being left behind. The truth, however, is that it's rarely about punishment. It's about creating the necessary space for growth and transformation. When we feel isolated, whether by choice or circumstance, we're often in the midst of a deep internal shift. It's in these moments of solitude that we begin to shed the layers of who we were and step into who we are becoming. God, or the universe, doesn't isolate us to cause harm or suffering. It isolates us to help us evolve. It's during these times that we're given the chance to reconnect with our deeper self, to recalibrate our thoughts and emotions, and to refine our inner vision. The external world may seem distant, and the connections we once relied on might fade, but this is where the real work begins, within. It's in the silence, the stillness, the moments where everything is quiet and the distractions fade, that we begin to listen to the voice of our own soul. The isolation we experience is a divine invitation to look inward, to confront our fears, our limitations, and the beliefs that have held us back. It's during these solitary moments that we discover what we truly need, what we truly desire, and what our highest self is calling us toward. The external world may feel distant, but what's actually happening is that we're being prepared for something greater than what we've known. The process of isolation is the groundwork for the elevation that is coming. Growth happens when you're pulled inward. In our fast-paced world, it's easy to get caught up in the noise and distractions that surround us. We look for answers externally, seeking validation, affirmation, and comfort from others. But true growth doesn't happen in this space of outward seeking. Real growth happens when we are forced to turn inward, when the external world no longer holds the answers we're seeking, and we are left with nothing but our own thoughts, emotions, and desires. When life isolates us, it's often to help us connect with the deepest parts of ourselves that we've neglected or avoided. The answers you seek have always been within you, but they are often buried beneath the layers of external noise and distractions. To grow, we must become aware of who we truly are, our fears, our aspirations, our strengths, and our weaknesses. And it's only in the stillness, when everything around us is quiet, that we can begin to uncover this deeper truth. This inward pull forces us to confront the limiting beliefs and patterns we've carried with us for years. It challenges us to break free from the narratives that have defined our lives and pushes us to rewrite our story. Growth requires change, and change requires us to step outside of what's familiar, to venture into unknown territory within ourselves. It's in this space of discomfort, of not knowing, that we begin to understand our true potential. When we embrace this inward journey, we learn to listen to our intuition, to trust our inner voice, and to cultivate a deeper sense of self-awareness. This is where real transformation begins. The universe removes distractions to help you connect with your true self. Life has a way of filtering out the noise when we are in the process of deep transformation. In our day-to-day existence, we are often bombarded with external influences, people's opinions, societal expectations, constant information, and the pressure to conform. These distractions cloud our vision and prevent us from accessing the deeper truths that lie within. But when the universe isolates us, it removes these distractions, creating a space for us to reconnect with who we truly are. Without these external distractions, we are forced to look inward, to confront the beliefs and patterns we've adopted from the world around us. The opinions of others fade away, and we are left with our own thoughts and emotions stripped down to the core of who we really are. It's in these moments that we are given the opportunity to rediscover our authentic self, free from the pressure to fit into molds or live up to expectations. This is the moment where you can uncover your true desires, your unique purpose, and the things that truly light up your soul. By removing distractions, the universe invites us to explore our own identity, to question what we've been told about ourselves, and to create a new vision of who we want to become. This process of self-discovery can feel uncomfortable at first, as we may have to let go of old beliefs or relationships that no longer serve us. However, this purification of the mind and spirit allows us to align with our highest potential. The more distractions are removed, the clearer we see the path ahead, one that is uniquely ours to walk. True transformation requires stepping into discomfort. It's easy to mistake comfort for stability, to believe that peace and growth come from remaining in familiar environments and routines. But in reality, Comfort often holds us back from the true potential we're meant to reach. Transformation isn't a smooth, easy path. It requires us to break free from the patterns that have kept us safe, even if those patterns are limiting. When we step into discomfort, we challenge our old ways of thinking, doing, and being. The discomfort that arises during times of transformation can feel unsettling, even painful. It's the moment when everything feels uncertain, when the old versions of ourselves are dying and the new self has yet to emerge. But this is precisely where the most profound changes occur. The discomfort forces us to let go of what no longer serves us. It asks us to release the fear of the unknown and embrace the uncertainty that comes with growth. As we step into new, unfamiliar territories, we begin to stretch beyond our current limitations. We expand our understanding of what's possible for us. This is when we experience real change, when we push beyond our comfort zones and allow ourselves to be vulnerable, open, and willing to evolve. It's in the discomfort that we begin to discover the depth of our resilience, the strength of our character, and the power within us to create a new reality. Transformation isn't about staying in a safe space where nothing challenges us. It's about daring to grow, to face the fear of the unknown, and to trust that, on the other side of discomfort, there's a version of us that's far more powerful and capable than we ever imagined. Solitude is where your deepest strength is cultivated. In the quiet, when the world falls away and there's no one else to rely on but yourself, you discover a level of resilience and power that you never knew existed. Solitude, while often viewed as a burden, is actually a sacred space for self-discovery and inner fortitude. It's in these moments of aloneness that you come face to face with your true strength, away from the distractions and influences of others. When you're alone, you have the freedom to connect with your thoughts and feelings on a deeper level. There are no external voices telling you who you should be or how you should act. It's just you with your own inner wisdom and instincts. And in this space, you begin to uncover the raw, untapped strength that's always been within you, waiting for the opportunity to emerge. Solitude allows you to process pain, confront fears, and heal old wounds that may have been ignored or buried. It's the time when your soul speaks most clearly and your heart is most open. In these quiet moments, you have the chance to truly listen to yourself without the noise of the outside world drowning out your inner voice. It's where you can begin to rebuild, refocus, and realign with your true purpose. The strength that is cultivated in solitude is not the kind that comes from external validation or success. It's the strength that arises from within, from the courage to face your own vulnerability, to accept yourself completely, and to trust that you have everything you need to navigate through life's challenges. In solitude, you are not alone. You are reconnecting with the most powerful version of yourself. Old environments can no longer contain your evolving potential. As we grow and evolve, the spaces we once inhabited, whether physical, emotional, or mental, can feel increasingly restrictive. The environments that once supported us, the people and places we were comfortable with, no longer align with the person we are becoming. This is a natural part of the growth process. We often find ourselves outgrowing old habits, relationships, or even career paths because our inner self is expanding and evolving beyond what was once familiar. This shift isn't something to fear. It's a sign that you are in the process of stepping into your higher potential. When you begin to feel confined or uncomfortable in your surroundings, it's an indication that you've outgrown your current environment. The energy, thoughts, and behaviors that once felt normal may no longer resonate with who you are now. This is because your frequency has shifted, and the places or relationships that once felt like a fit are now too small to accommodate your growth. When your potential begins to surpass the limitations of your environment, it's not that the environment is wrong or bad. It's simply that it can no longer nurture the new version of you. The old environment served its purpose in helping you reach where you are today, but now it's time to move beyond it. You are being called to seek new spaces, new people, and new experiences that can challenge you to evolve further. This can be uncomfortable, as change often is. It's difficult to let go of what is familiar, but embracing this shift opens up opportunities for greater growth. The old must make way for the new. The walls that once kept you safe may now feel like barriers, and it's time to step beyond them to reach your fullest potential. Elevation requires breaking away from old patterns. For true growth to occur, we must let go of the habits, thoughts, and behaviors that have been limiting our progress. These patterns are often deeply ingrained in us over time, shaped by past experiences, societal expectations, and learned behaviors. They create comfort zones, but they also keep us stuck in repetitive cycles that prevent us from reaching our highest potential. Breaking away from these old patterns is essential to elevate to the next level of our lives. Old patterns might manifest in many forms: the way we think about ourselves, the way we interact with others, or even how we respond to challenges. These familiar ways of being often provide a false sense of security, but in truth they hold us back from the transformation we seek. The comfort of routine, the ease of predictable behaviors, and the familiarity of past choices all contribute to a life that, while safe, doesn't allow us to evolve. To elevate, we must embrace change, even when it feels uncomfortable or uncertain. Stepping away from these ingrained patterns means challenging the beliefs and behaviors that have defined us for years. It requires a willingness to confront the very things we've come to rely on for security and safety. It's a courageous act of shedding the old skin, even though we may fear the unknown of what lies beyond. But in doing so, we create space for new habits, new ways of thinking, and new experiences that align more with our evolving selves. This is where true elevation begins. It's about stepping outside of the predictable, moving beyond the patterns that have kept us grounded, and reaching for a higher version of ourselves. Breaking these patterns doesn't just change what we do, it changes who we are at the core. You're being set apart because your destiny is bigger than your current reality. There comes a time in life when you begin to sense that the life you're living is no longer in alignment with who you are becoming. You may find that your relationships, your career, or your environment just doesn't seem to fit anymore. The things you once worked for or were passionate about may feel distant or insignificant. This is a powerful indication that you are being called to something greater, something beyond what you can currently see or understand. When you start to feel this shift, it may seem unsettling. It may feel as though you are being separated from the very things you've built your life around. But this is not a form of abandonment. It's preparation for the bigger picture. The universe, or whatever higher power you believe in, is setting you apart to mold and refine you for the next stage of your journey. Your destiny is calling you to a place that requires you to be more than you are right now. The old circumstances and relationships cannot hold the space for what you are meant to become. This feeling of separation is not punishment, but an invitation to step into a new level of self-awareness and growth. Your growth requires you to break free from what's familiar so that you can embrace what's next. The potential within you is too vast to be contained by the current reality, and that's why you're being drawn away. You may not see it yet, but this process is about preparing you to walk into a future that is far greater than anything you've experienced before. Your evolution is creating space for the life you've always been destined for. Isolation creates space for your soul's evolution. In moments of isolation, when everything seems quiet and distant, you may feel disconnected from the world around you. It's easy to interpret this as loneliness or abandonment, but what if it's actually a divine invitation to evolve on a deeper level? When the noise of the world fades away, it forces you to confront yourself in ways you've never had to before. The absence of distractions gives your soul the room it needs to grow and transform, free from the expectations or pressures of others. This space allows you to dive into your inner world and reflect on who you truly are and what you truly want. Without external influences constantly pulling your attention, you're able to hear your own voice more clearly. The messages from your heart, your soul's desires, and your deeper purpose become more apparent. Isolation, in this sense, is not about being cut off from the world. It's about reconnecting with yourself on a more profound level. In this solitude, you begin to shed the layers of fear, doubt, and limiting beliefs that have been built up over time. These old patterns no longer serve your higher self, and the isolation process gives you the space to let them go. You're given the opportunity to heal, to release, and to step into a more authentic version of yourself. As uncomfortable as it may feel, isolation is often necessary for growth. It allows you to evolve without interference from outside forces. It's in these quiet moments that you can align with your true purpose, refine your inner strength, and embrace the fullness of your potential. This space is where your soul undergoes its most profound transformation. The world will reflect your inner transformation once you embrace the process. When you begin the journey of self-discovery and growth, it often feels like the changes are internal, hidden from the eyes of those around you. You may wonder if anyone will notice the shifts you're making, if the efforts you're putting into your own evolution will ever manifest in your outer world. But the truth is, the world cannot help but mirror what is happening inside of you. As you evolve, so too will your external reality. When you change the way you think, when you begin to heal old wounds and shift your perspective, your energy changes. You start vibrating at a different frequency, and this new energy is felt by others, even if they don't consciously recognize it. Relationships that once seemed stuck or unfulfilling will begin to shift, either transforming into something more aligned with your new self or falling away if they no longer serve your growth. The way you interact with the world, the way you approach challenges will shift, and others will begin to see and respond to the changes you've made. Opportunities that once seemed out of reach will begin to show up, drawn to the new, expanded version of you. You'll start to attract what is in alignment with your true self. The more you embrace your inner transformation, the more the world around you will reflect that change. This isn't about forcing the world to change or manipulating circumstances. It's about aligning with your highest truth and allowing the world to respond naturally to your growth. The universe has a way of guiding you toward what is meant for you, and as you evolve, it will open up doors you never thought possible. The reflection of your inner growth will appear in your outer reality in ways you could never have imagined.